The best build for Tribbie, guys. Yes, I have been grinding. I've been slicing away. Look how messed up my hair looks right now, guys. I've been working my ass off to bring you guys the best build for Tribbie, so make sure you watch the whole video because we're going to be going over everything from how she works, the best build for her, best teammates, everything like that. So why not start off in the best possible place that I think I can start off in, and that is going to be talking about how she actually works. So let's start off with her skill move first, guys. This is going to be increasing every single one of your allies' all-type res pins. So this will also be applying to any memo sprite on the field as well, because they do kind of their own things. They get these buffs as well. So getting all-type res pin is going to be super massive, because that's really the only thing that the skill move is going to be doing. Because hopping into her ultimate move, this gives her a sub DPS level of damage. Is because what this does, guys, is not only does an AoE attack as soon as you launch this off to put down the field, you're also going to be dealing one instance of quantum damage for every single enemy hit, and this damage does have a priority. It's going to be targeting the enemy with the highest HP, so that means your boss is going to be targeted. So that means if you have an AoE scenario, you're hitting multiple enemies, she's going to be doing multiple instances of damage to that one main boss enemy, and that field will be lasting up to 2 different turns. But not only is it doing those things and giving you additional damage, guys, it's also going to be increasing the amount of damage the enemies take that are within the field. That means you're giving every single enemy vulnerability, so that means everyone in your team is automatically doing more damage to the enemies anyways, and these additional attacks will also be amplifying that damage even more. And the reason why these buffs and debuffs she gives are so good, guys, is these multipliers come at the end of the damage formula. That's why characters like Zhao Cho are so powerful, right, guys? Because he gives a vulnerability on the enemy, which is one of the final things you can put on the enemy that basically enhances your damage, right? So the higher you get of these multipliers here, which are very hard to get multipliers, you're going to be amplifying the damage of your allies by that much more, because you're basically not increasing their own damage per se, you're decreasing the enemy's defenses, which causes you to deal more damage. So that means if you have characters that gives themselves a lot of crit rate buffs, crit damage buffs, damage percent buffs, this is not overflowing that amount and giving you more access to more damage. This also allows you to run those other buffers on the team that might give you that crit rate, crit damage percent bonus. So you can run her hyper carry-esque scenarios, but we're going to talk about teams after this section here. The reason why this is also so good, guys, is because you can also slot her in to break teams as well, because both vulnerability and res affect the break damage you're doing, affect the super break you're doing, so this is going to be super good for both of those scenarios there. Now, you might say, you haven't mentioned what the talent does. Guys, the talent is going to be unlocking her true sub DPS potential, because the ultimate kind of makes her like a Robin, right? That's how I see it, is like she does like additional damage when you're out of attack. Yeah, whoopie-doo. Yeah, Robin does the same fucking thing in the Concerto state, right? But what the talent's gonna be doing, guys, is giving you actual follow-up attacks based off of your ultimates you're doing with your allies. Now, this will only be happening once per time whenever an ally uses an ultimate, but you don't have to use the ultimate on an enemy per se, right? So literally, when any other character uses an ultimate move, she launches a follow-up attack off on every single enemy on the field. So this is going to be super good for characters like the Herda. This is also super good for characters like Fei Xiao. Like, this is really going to be good for a plethora of characters. And not only this, guys, you're hitting out a lot of damage as well, because this is considered a follow-up attack. That means it can be buffed with things that increase follow-up attack damage, and this is also affected by your crit rate and crit damage that you're going to be using as well, which kind of tells you how we'll need to build her. But we'll talk about that build after we talk about these teams right now, guys, because her teams are absolutely insane, or I guess they will be more insane in the future. They're okay right now. Like, her options right now are very meta options, but they're going to be even better in the future, especially when Miss Cat O'Rice comes out. I don't know how to say her name, so I'm going to be calling her Cat O'Rice. Get mad in the comment section down below. I dare you. So hopping into some of her teams that I see her being really viable in, teams like Fei Xiao, right? Now, the reason why I think she works really well in the Fei Xiao team is, first of all, guys, she affects every enemy on the field. She's also going to be affecting every ally, so this means you can run her in a dual DPS scenario. If you're running Fei Xiao, Topaz, or something like that, you're going to be getting that extra damage, getting that extra res pin. You're also getting the extra vulnerability on the enemy as well. You're doing follow-up attacks with her, so this does work really hand in hand with someone like Fei Xiao, right? Because you're launching every ult off, you're getting follow-up attacks, which gives you more action towards what Fei Xiao is able to do and get her ultimate back up faster, which then also leads to more follow-up attacks from Tribbie as well. So overall, like, this is a really good match for someone like Fei Xiao. This is probably going to be one of the better buffers for Fei Xiao. Better than Robin? I don't know about that one, Chief, because it really doesn't help out follow-up damage like Robin does, but overall, I do think this is a really good option. She also can take use of the buff from Topaz as well if you're running her in a Topaz team, or an E6 mode for that matter, but that's not the only team she can be running, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about another team now, which is a team with the Herda. Like I said, guys, you can run her in dual DPS scenarios because her buffs apply to every single ally you have. Your debuffs also apply to every single enemy you have. This means AoE type attackers will be taking use of basically all of these buffs at all times. You're hitting every enemy on the field, so this means you get more instances up for more additional damage you're dealing to the enemy, so you're getting more usage out of her ultimate move here. Now, you don't really get to take use of the follow-ups or get to chain follow-ups with anyone else on the team because no one really plays off of that, but you're still able to activate the follow-ups, which then activate more build-up for the Herta, which builds her ult up faster and builds up charges on the enemy faster as well. So all in all, this is also a super good matchup for someone like the Herta. Break teams, like I said previously, vulnerability and res pin all work into getting damage with your break S team. So you could run around a team with maybe like Fugue or maybe like a Remembrance MC or my bad, Harmony MC. Get them mixed up and confused sometimes. You can't use them both on the same team. You would think they would maybe a 4-star character into the game that could help us with our break, but they haven't done that yet. So we're gonna have to cope with this right now. Anyways, you can run around this team like this and also get some pretty good damage out too. And then finally, guys, a team with Miss Catarrhais. Catarrhais is, as we know, a quantum remembrance character. So maybe you run around a team with like Catarrhais herself, Remembrance MC, and then a Sustainer. That's maybe what you do there. I think this could also work very good too. So like, she has a lot of different team options, or I guess a lot of newer meta team options that she's going to work very well in. So that's really all that I have to say in terms of teams. You can really run her on any dual DPS team. I think you might run into issues with some teams because I don't think her buffs are really meant for older characters just because they don't give themselves as many buffs to get their own damage up. A lot of the new characters we've seen have been giving themselves buffs and like damage bonus and crit bonus and stuff like that to help with their damage. So you really want to be hitting those multipliers at the end of the damage formula to make sure you're maximizing damage there because they already give themselves so much. So she's really good for the newer characters, not as good for the older characters, but let's stop on that. We'll have a full thing talking about should you summon in a couple days from now. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about probably one of the moments you've been waiting for, best in slot light cones, because genuinely, guys, there's not that many options you can use. I think her best in slot options obviously gonna be her signature W engine, guys. It'll give you stuff like crit damage, help the team out, and give you energy as well. So you can't go wrong with her signature light cone, but there are other options you can use. I think you could use the Poise the Bloom light cone just because of the fact that it's gonna be increasing her attack, which I don't really care too much about. But on top of this, guys, if you have two characters from the same path, you'll be increasing their crit damage as well. If you have someone like Sunday and Tribbie on the same team, you're increasing both of their crit damages, which leads to higher crit damage output from Sunday. It also leads to higher damage from her as well because you'll be increasing her crit damage, which leads to overall more damage output from her. But overall, guys, the best free-to-play option you can run, which, oh my god, hands down, still one of the goats of the game. If you don't have this light cone, why the fuck haven't you built it? I have 2 on my account and I've leveled them up to max. Meshing fucking cogs, guys. Meshing, who would have fucking thought, guys? You get so much energy back from this thing, it's insane. If you get hit, free energy back. If you do a hit, free energy back, guys. So basically at all times, you're getting energy back from this motherfucker right here. This will help drive you to a 2-turn ultimate, which is very, very essential in making sure you're doing her follow-up attacks very consistently because that field's only up for 2 fucking turns and you want to make sure that damage amplification's on the enemy, so you do need the ult every 2 turns with her. This will aid you in that journey. Like I said, there's not really too many to run here. Hopefully they add some more options in the game that would help her out more in the future, but now let's go ahead and talk about the part you've really been waiting for, which is obviously, guys, the relic sets, relic stats, everything like that. But wait, pause, stop right there. If you've made it to this part of the video, or maybe you just got scammed, hit the subscribe button now, guys. We're trying to push 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. This is how much we're at the recording of this video, so please hit that subscribe button now, gamers. Once we hit that mark, we will be doing a massive, huge giveaway. So hopefully you hit that marker when there's a good character coming out. Or maybe we'll wait. We'll do a poll even. Anyways, guys, hit the subscribe button now, and let's get into those best in slots relic sets now. Starting off with our best 4-piece set, guys, is going to be the new Poet of Morning Collapse, guys. This set was built for Tribbie, and maybe built for Catarrhais as well, but what this is going to be doing is at a 2-piece increasing quantum damage, which we all know she's just sub DPS at this point, but at a 4-piece, guys, it actually gives you a nerf, is lowering her speed, right? Actually, it's better if she's low speed, but that's besides the point, right? It's going to be lowering her speed by 8%. If this lowers her speed down to 110 or 95, you'll be increasing her crit rate by 20 to 32%. This effect will also be applying to Memo Sprites as well, so I also think this will probably be best in slot for Catarrhais as well, because it says Memo Sprite, Tribbie doesn't have Memo Sprite, so this will be helping out with just her overall to help her sub DPS level of damage out. So Poet of Morning Collapse, absolutely amazing set you can run on her. Best in slot, hands down, that's what I recommend. But this is going to be paired up with the planner set of the Bone Collector of Serene Demise, whatever the fuck that says. I said that completely wrong, but don't fucking mind me, I'm bad at pronouncing shit. Anyways, guys, this is going to be increasing the wearer's max HP by 12%, which she scaled all of her damage off of. And whenever her max HP is over 5,000, she'll be increasing the wearer and their memo price crit damage by 28%. So with this set, guys, you're increasing her crit rate and her crit damage. This will be giving her an immense amount of damage output. This is the hands down the best in slot set you can run on her. So let's now talk about the best in slot alternatives. The second best DPS set I could think of, guys, would probably be a 4-piece disciple set, because this will be increasing her max HP. It'll also be increasing their crit rate up to 16% as well if they have HP loss. So if you're not running her on a shield S team and she's getting hit, maybe she's in the middle of the pack or whatever, this could work on her as well, but it really just depends on what team you have her on. So if you maybe have her like on a Jingle US team, or a team that would maybe remove HP from the rest of your allies to do damage, this would be a pretty decent set to run on her. And then in terms of the alternative planar sets, I would recommend any of the energy region sets. So that'd be Pinaconi, Lushaka, or Von Whack. Any of these sets can work on her. If you have one that's built with the stats we're going to talk about now, then you use those instead of the ones that I recommended earlier, because you do really rely on the main sets here, specifically really just one main set here, which we're going to get into right now, guys, which is going to be her recommended stats. So let's start off with the main stats first, guys. On the boots is going to be HP percentage, on the body is going to be crit rate or crit damage, on the robe is going to be energy regen rate, and then finally on the orb is going to be HP percentage as well, guys. As you see here, guys, we have a lot of HP percentage here. She scales off of HP percentage, so you want as much HP percentage as possible. You also want her to be extremely slow as she can humanly be, right? You don't want any speed in her substats at all, so no speed here is great. This means you can use and allocate those relics and stuff you've had with great speed substats on another character. You don't need speed here. She's one of the easiest builds in the game, or that would be the case if you didn't have to build her into crit rate and crit damage to get that additional damage out. So let's go ahead now and talk about those recommended stats, guys, which is going to be crit rate, crit damage, and HP percentage. You want that crit rate bare minimum 65%, that crit damage bare minimum 144%, and that HP percentage around 6,500. You want to make sure you're activating all the buffs first of all. Secondly, guys, you want to make sure she's able to do a good amount of damage with the additional damage she does, because her role is a sub DPS. She doesn't really give you that many buffs for your team. She is trading off some of the buffs she could possibly give for the team for the damage she's able to output, right, guys? So that's what I want to say here in today's video. That's the best build that I recommend for Miss Tribbie here. Are you pulling for Tribbie, or have you already pulled Tribbie and you're watching this video now? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Later, guys. Bye-bye.